ratings of Mary Oh Quite Cherry by The Name is Greed. Enjoy! 1. Make sure your OC is on the Sue first. Before you think out the whole plotline of the story, try to make your character reasonable and not Sue-ish. Also, it's true that a lot of Sue tests can be unfair with some of the questions, but then they tell you not to convince yourself the results were wrong. It's not entirely off. A lot of times, your character does need some work, and you shouldn't be afraid to admit that. 2. How to fix a purity Sue. A purity Sue is someone who's sparkly, white, pure, they crap rainbows. She doesn't do much action type stuff and mostly stands on the sidelines. She'll always be innocent and sweet and just so immaculately good that everyone around her starts becoming good and sweet and nice like her. Even bad guys. Why do we hate her? She's totally useless and unaffectively derails any character she touches. How do you fix her? Simple. Make her human. Give her a secret, dark side that comes out whenever she pushed too far. Like if the bad guy starts bullying her because they think she's helpless, and suddenly they do something that throws her over the edge, like hurting one of her friends. She'll go all Super Saiyan on them and freak out everyone who's watching. Or, for another thing, maybe not everyone likes Miss Sparkly Pooch Sunshine, and they find her annoying. Or maybe she's not so pure and innocent. There's too many to list. Just think of blindingly white linen sheet that's so bright that it causes blindness. Find some dirt or blood or just something to make it dirty or whatever. 3. How to fix a jerk Sue. A jerk Sue is someone who's a total, well, jerk to everyone around them. She kicks people, swears, loses her temper pretty much all the time, and gets her jollies from making people's lives miserable. And no one minds it. She gets away with everything. If she disses Ed because he's short, he'll just blow it off and walk away. If she insults someone's friends, they don't even react. It's not the fact that she's a total a-hole to everything with a pulse that makes her a jerk Sue. It's the jerk part. That makes the character a Sue and the fact that nobody hates her. Ever! Remember that thing I said about bashing other characters? This type of Sue is an expert at this. She's the one who calls Winry a slut and never gets a comeuppance. We hate her because she gets away with everything. How do you fix her? There are 2 basic ways. 1 is making her feel the consequences of her actions. Let Ed smack her for calling him a pipsqueak, or having the crap beat out of her by someone she thinks she knew she'd win against. Even better, have her be within an inch of her life. This will make her learn her mistakes, hopefully. The other opinion is to make her less of a jerk. Edward Elric is a jerk with a heart of gold, right? Your character can be one too. Just remember the heart of gold thing. 4. How to fix a villain Sue. A villain Sue is a Mary Sue that joined the dark side. She still has more powers than God, still perfect in every way. The only difference now is she wears a sluttier outfit made of black rubber, since she's most likely a homunculus. And hey, being a homunculus is great. You're basically a god, a supervillain, and a Chuck Norris combined. You get to kick puppies and kittens. Go on killing sprees, whine about how you want to be human, and Emily probably thinks you're hot. We hate this dude because she's a jerk with superpowers. Pretty much. How do you fix her? First off, being a homunculus kind of sucks. Look at what happened to Wrath in the first anime. Heck, if you really listen to them, they're pretty miserable because they can only act or feel whatever sin they're named for. Plus, in both versions, they get treated like lifeless tools with no feelings. Granted, you shouldn't go overboard with angst in here, but show how being a bad guy has its downsides too. Second of all, she should at least get some kind of bad ending. If not that, at least make her suffer for her wrongdoing. It's like a jerk Sue, but more evil, I guess. 5. How to fix a sympathy Sue. A sympathy Sue is a really sad life. She's been abused, raped, abandoned, forced to live on the streets, and she's got underdevelopment hiccups. Poor kid. She wants you to feel sorry for her, and she constantly whines about her past, making everyone who hears her want to hug her and tell her it's going to be okay. Aww, but that's not what makes her a Sue. No one gets tired of hearing how her life simply sucks, and everyone unanimously agrees we all must hug her. It's not the fact she's been through hell makes us hate her, it's her non-stop whining that makes us want to puke. How do you fix her? Make her suck it up and move on. Maybe she's been through so much that it doesn't faze her anymore. And an owl, for instance, lost their mom, tried to bring her back, nearly died trying, gets a freaky non-human thing instead, and now Ed's lost an arm and leg, and Al's just a soul stuck in the suit of armor. And he didn't get therapy. And you hear them wangsting about it. Heck, Al can't cry if he wanted to. And Ed's tear ducts may have fallen off for all we know. 6. How to fix a copycat Sue. This Sue is probably related to Ed and Al. She's basically Edward with lady parts, and acts like him in every way. Alchemy without a circle. Breaks out when you call her short. Looks and dresses just like Ed. Bonus points if she's missing her right arm and left leg. If she's not this, she's a perfect mix of Ed and Al's personalities. Sure, she's sensitive about her height, and she's got a soft spot for stray kittens too. I know I've already mentioned this, but to drive the point home, if she's the second one, then she isn't their sister. She's really a crack baby. A copycat, Sue, is what happens when an author wishes they could be a main character and still have other fantasies with them. I could be wrong, but I think some writers do this with Mustang too. A lot of villain Sues are basically copycats of envy. How do you fix her? Oh boy, where to begin? It depends on her background. If she's related to the Erics, then go back and read Ed and Al's sister in chapter 1. If she's not, then you seriously need to work on her. If you're doing a gender flip, never mind, she's fine. 7. How to fix a self-inserted Sue. I think it's pretty obvious. You, in FMA, most people assume that if you write fanfiction, you're apparently fat, ugly, and have no talent outside of writing fanfics. And even then, you suck at it. If your self-inserted is attractive, talented, smart, or any positive traits you speak of, you gave them to her because you wish you had them. But honestly, if the character's not really you, how can you call it a self-insert? You can tell your self-insert is a Sue when everything goes her way. Most, if not all, the canon likes her, and she always steps in to save the day. On top of that, everything is based on how she perceives the situation, and anyone who's in agreement with her and happens to be the way of her goals, whether it's marrying Ed or shanking someone with even get with them, is evil. Sound familiar? I'm looking at you, Twilight. How do you fix her? Make her more like you, flaws and all. If you want the most likable person around, don't make her miscongenially. If you aren't magically witty, brilliant, or are ready to come up with some clever comeback, you probably shouldn't give it to her. Think of what your faults are. What is it about you that people can't stand? Give those traits to your character. It's not foul-proof, but it definitely makes the reader like your character. 8. How to fix a God mode Sue. Marry Sue with more power than God. She's probably an alchemist who can completely ignore the whole equivalent exchange deal. Or she's a homunculus who can mimic the powers of all the other ones. She might be living Philosopher's Stone, or a homunculus with 5 different powers, and one of them could be alchemy. In short, she pwns everyone. Please refer to Enough with the Pwnage Powers in Chapter 1. How do I fix her? How many fights has she lost? How many fights has she won? Was it hard for her to win, or did she not dominate without breaking a sweat? Maybe, just maybe, your character's too powerful. Tone it down a little, or at very least, whack her in the face with equivalent exchange. Maybe her powers are awesome, but they quickly drain her all of her energy. She might have some scary, awesome abilities, but they might be seriously painful to use. It should balance out between ups and downsides so readers won't roll their eyes. I hope you enjoyed. I had a great time reading it, CelticKawaii's. And if you want, just request the other chapters. Thanks for listening!